Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderful wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we're here to do a review of the Banana Republic board game.
We sure are. We're going to see how quickly we can lose, essentially.
Yeah, so pretty much you've got to be the top banana by basically running your country into the ground.
Yes.
So, huge inflation, huge unemployment, gigantic debt, and lead the country to the brink of disaster.
Great. You're top banana. So the idea is to actually banana-rupt everybody else. I was just waiting to say that.
Yes.
That's actually what it says in the instructions. I didn't make that up.
So basically bankrupt them and make sure they've got no bananas left.
Yes, bananas is the currency in the game.
I like the way this game looks.
Yes. It's very visually appealing. It's a bit dry in its gameplay.
It's also broken.
Well, we'll get to that. So the board itself, I mean, look at this.
It's a banana.
It is indeed a banana shape. I mean, that kind of sucks you in, I think, doesn't it?
It sucked me in.
So this is the board. You move around the outside and essentially just follow whatever space you land on in trying to obtain more bananas for yourself and, banana-rupt everybody else and have them run out of bananas.
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of banana tokens.
There's a lot of things about bananas in general.
So these are the currency, one banana. There's also a J banana card, which we'll get to in a second, which basically just function as, 15 bananas if you happen to run out of tokens. 15, 5,
You need to
20.
hand some back in to use, yeah. So you just push these out. We haven't pushed them all out because we didn't need that many bananas.
We have chance cards. We'll get to each what card does. Banana quiz.
We have some banana leader cards as well as banana economy reference cards. Boy, doesn't that sound exciting.
If you want to play a good drinking game, every time we say banana, we have banana economy.
I think you'd be really, really trashed really quickly if you did that at Banana Republic.
And then you've just got, I don't believe that's the original die in there. I put that in there. And just a couple of little
Very
pawn.
bland, plain pieces. I feel like they could have been something else because everything else is so yellow and
What about
themed,
just coloured bananas?
and these are just not. Maybe they weren't the original pieces. I don't know, but
Alright, so at the start of the game, every person gets a banana economy reference card, which just helps when you land on certain spaces just to work out the best and worst sort of stats.
so for example, when you're trying to run your country into the ground, you want a high inflation rate. Obviously, you don't want that in real life, but in the game, that's what you want. So you want a high number there, but for example, your dollar value, you want the lowest.
So it actually says, the inflation rate can range anywhere from 0% up to 500. So if I land on a space and it's like 490% inflation...
then you know yours is pretty darn bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you played Top Trumps, the card game, where you pick a card out and then each card's got like a statistic, and then the person's got to think what their statistic is higher than the other players.
Kind of comparing.
That's pretty much what this game boils down to.
Yeah, so this is just giving you a guide so you know whether what you've got is good, bad, in the middle, in all the different brackets. So everyone, like you said, starts with one of those. You also start with some of the banana currency. 10, I believe. You start with 10. Yeah, 10 banana tokens. The start space is up the end here, and the little arrow points kind of this way, so you just make your way around. Now, the other thing you start with is that what you've got there?
The Banana Republic.
Yes.
So basically, at the start of each game, each person gets one of these, and that's their statistics for their current country.
Yes. Now, this sounds, you're probably thinking, like a very game you've got to put a lot of thought into because there's a lot of statistics and things, but it really is.
If you know what's higher and what's lower in a number, then you're good to go.
You're good, yeah.
So if you got that one and I get this one...
so these range up to 25?
Yes.
Yep.
1 being good, 25 being the worst.
Yeah, so for example, my Prime Minister, which is the letter A, is rated a 14, whereas yours is a 20.
Which means I've got a better Prime Minister, so if I was going up against you, you would win. Because you've got
the worst Prime Minister.
Because the aim is to get the worst of everything.
Yeah, so you do not show this card to the other players. You just get it at the start of the game and put it face down until you actually need to use it. You don't want other people knowing what the numbers are because then it can be a little bit more strategic against you. Yeah. Other than that, you just move around the board.
Yeah, so...
Shall we go from the start and we'll go through, make sure we cover every space. So if you land on a banana quiz space, which are these yellow ones here with the stars.
Then the other person picks up a card, a quiz card.
Someone on your left.
And then basically they answer some quizzes.
About bananas. Now, Depending on what you've rolled, it depends on which question you answer. You don't do all three.
1 to 2 is question 1. You
Yep.
roll 3 to 4 is 2, and 5 to 6 is 3.
Yeah. So say I had rolled a 1, I would have question 1. So Nathan would say, does copra come from banana husks? I don't know if I've pronounced that right. And I would say, yes it does, no it doesn't, whatever it may be.
And then you get some bananas if you answer it right.
You do. How many bananas do you get? The number of the question, I think.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so if I got question 1 right, I win 1 banana.
And these are all about bananas specifically. Not about countries, about bananas.
Yeah. Yes. It was interesting. We've actually sort of read through them because...
The quiz part was the best part of the game. Just reading the quizzes to each other.
Yes, I agree. If you do get the question wrong, you actually have to pay that many bananas back to the bank as well.
The kitty.
So if you get it right and you had question 1, you receive 1 banana. You get it wrong, you pay 1 banana. If you land on this blue
Banana
space
shipment.
here, yep, it's a banana shipment. So you then have to roll the dice again. You don't use your existing dice roll.
No, and I think it's depending whether or not you get an odd or an even number.
Yes. So an odd number means that your bananas are being exported and you have to put them back into the kitty.
That's bad.
They don't actually... It's not the bank, sorry, that holds all the bananas. It's the kitty, because the bank comes into play in a different way.
Yes, the bank is a different square.
And then if you get an even number, you receive that many bananas. So... That's that. That's a pretty quick and easy one.
Are we ready to talk about the main part of the game?
Okay, so there are these numbered spaces. So number 1 is inflation rate, and they go on. 2 is unemployment.
There's 1 for each category.
Devaluation rate, etc., etc. So you then pick up
A banana economy card. So Laura lands on it.
Yep.
Laura takes a banana
I would
economy.
take the first card.
Without
Nathan
showing.
would take the next one. Yep, neither of us look. I then have a look at, for the purposes of this, we'll show. I would have a look at number 1, because that's what I landed on. And that is 110% inflation rate. So
that's out of 500%. So
I can then refer back to my reference card, which tells me it's from 0 to 500, and the highest number wins.
So Laura's inflation rate's not great if it's out of 500,000.
Yeah, so 500%.
500, sorry.
Yeah, so 110, it's pretty low in the bracket. Now, I don't know what Nathan has. I have to make a decision about how confident I am that I'm going to win this, and I've got the worst inflation rate.
So then you'd go, I'm going to bet,
maybe 2 bananas or something like that, because I'm not that confident with my 110 out of 500.
And that means every other player has to match that bet.
Yeah, so I put in my 2 bananas, Nathan puts in 2, anyone else I'm playing with does the same. We then all reveal our inflation rate. So I say, well, mine was 110%.
Mine was 56%, which means you had the worst inflation rate, which means you get all the bananas that were bet.
Yes, so I get my bananas back and whatever everybody else has bet as well. You do have to bet at least 1. So I could have had a 0% inflation rate and gone, oh, well, I can't possibly win. I still have to put at least 1 down.
Now, here's the problem. Each person starts with 10 bananas.
Yes.
The first thing I did was, for my first turn, was land on this square, and mine was like 480% inflation rate. So I bet all my bananas. Laura then had to bet all her bananas. I won. Laura was bankrupt. Game over.
About 2 turns in.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of a hole there. If you do happen to get a card you're very confident in and you only have a couple of people playing, you can bankrupt them instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not always going to be the case, but that is a possibility. It happened to us the first time we played, so...
And if I happen to bet 10 bananas and Laura's only got 5, Laura can actually borrow some bananas from the kitty, but you have to pay it back, I think, within 5 turns, and there's interest involved.
Yes, so if Nathan wants to bet more than what I have, but I do have some bananas, you have to borrow, like you said, 10. You only have 3 turns to then pay back the 10 to the kitty with another 5 as interest, which you have to keep track of. Those 3 turns. If you don't pay it back in time, then you're banana-rupt and you're out of the game.
Pretty much,
run out of bananas. But obviously Nathan banana-rupted, gosh, that's a weird thing to say, banana-rupted me extremely quickly because he was so confident with his inflation rate the first time we played.
So yeah,
We were suggesting before filming this that you need maybe a limit on how many you can bet at a time so that you can't bankrupt someone on the first turn.
Yeah, because otherwise it's too unbalanced.
Yeah. Anyway, so those numbered spaces, you do the same thing on everyone. If I'd landed on 2, which is unemployment, we would have picked up an economy and compared that. 3 is the devaluation, but there's 4 is...
And each card has a different sort of value on them.
Yes. You pick up a new one every time you need one as well, and they just go back on the bottom of the pile.
We should also... Oh, how about we'll go in order this time. So Banana Challenge.
Banana Challenge, which are the red spaces. You can't remember what it is.
I can't
either.
remember. We didn't land on it much.
So this one is actually really similar to these spaces. So we would both take a banana economy card.
Oh, but then you can pick any value of the card you picked, you think.
Yes.
Of the person. So the person who landed on it can then go, my budget deficit's like 720 million. I think that's a really crappy deficit. I'm going to bet money on that's my worst one.
Yeah, so we pick up one and whoever's landed there gets the choice. So you might take a few moments to kind of check your reference card to see what you think your worst or best statistic might be. So, for example, I wouldn't go with my devaluation rate because it's 1 to 100 and mine's only 21. So that wouldn't do me any good.
Your card's very similar to mine.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something on my card that would be... Say the personal tax I might go with, because the higher number wins and it's only up to 99%. So I might go, okay, personal tax. I'm reasonably confident I'm going to bet 3 bananas. Everyone else has to match that in the same way that they do on the numbered spaces.
We'd all compare, and then whoever's got the worst...
highest in that case of personal tax.
Wins the bananas.
Yep, so in this case that would be Nathan. So they work in the same way as the others, but obviously you get a little bit of choice there. Moving along, we have the letter spaces, which are like our government official spaces.
So they're all, you got worst treasure, look at all those wonderful drawings.
They're quite quirky. The game is quite quirky.
You're supposed to put the leader cards in order, from A to
J.
We didn't really feel the need to do that. I mean, it's just, I think, supposed for convenience sake. Works the same way. You land on there, you pick up your Banana Republic card you're given at the start.
Yep, so this is not from another pile. This is what you started with and have had the whole game.
So the worst Prime Minister, so you want the highest number, which means they're worst.
Yes.
So mine is 20. I'm like, oh, that's pretty high. So I then bet X amount of bananas. You would match it. Whoever's got the highest number wins.
Yep, and really, aside from you seeing your own card, if you're the one who's landed on it, there's not a lot of control the other players have there.
And then you would actually get the, whatever space you land, this is Prime Minister.
So, yeah, this was the Prime Minister space.
That's Foreign Minister, Trade Minister, Prime Minister. Then I would keep that. If anyone else lands on that space, I believe they just re-roll on.
You don't do anything anymore on that space because that leader has already been, taken. If you happen to collect 3 of those cards, you receive an extra 5 bananas. That is the only role those cards play, though.
Yeah, so... I suppose you're...
Well, then we have Banana Bank.
Oh,
if you land here, you throw the dice and you deposit however many bananas equals that into the bank.
And there's another space where you get the bananas.
Yeah, the Banana Bank on the other side is a withdrawal.
So you throw the dice and you get how many bananas?
No, you get everything that's in there.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, it says withdraw dice throw. I'm pretty sure that's not what it says. All bananas in the bank, it says in the instructions, but this says dice throw for some reason.
Yeah, you could probably play either way, to be honest.
Sure. So then all the other numbered places work in the same way as the first one. We then have a chance space. So we have a chance card if you land there.
And they pretty much, you read it and you go, at last, you've perfected a Teflon non-slip banana peel, collect 5 bananas from the bank.
Some are good.
Collect 3 bananas. Give each player a banana because you did a silly invention.
Because nobody needs electric bananas.
Collect 2 bananas from every player. Lose 2 bananas for a poor banana. Your idea for fish-flavoured bananas didn't take off. That's pretty much all they do.
Again, there's quite a lot of quirkiness in those cards. And I think that's my favourite thing about the game, is kind of the weird, quirky, banana trivia and, the chance cards and that. The actual gameplay is a little bit dry.
Well, we couldn't even get halfway around the board without one of us being bankrupt, even with minimal betting challenges, limits in place.
Yeah, that's true. So going through, you sort of repeat with the different numbered items and the different, alphabet letters for the different leaders. I think there's one
There's
more
the
here.
Banana Bonanza. Collect 5 bananas if you land here.
Yeah, so that's at that kind of point. Coming around the other side of the board, we just kind of keep going up in the numbers, letters, and repeating the other same spaces. So the last one standing is the winner. In a 2-player game, of course, first person who runs out of bananas is losing and the other person wins. Obviously, if you have all 6 players, it will take you a little bit longer. We found it a bit dry. You're just comparing statistics on a card. You don't have a lot of your own control aside from betting the bananas.
Especially if you land on ones that specifically say like unemployment figure or devaluation rate, you're just up to the whim of whatever the card you pick up.
Yeah.
And if you happen to get a really bad one, the other player gets a really good one, well, good luck.
Yeah, there's not much you can do, really, aside from just minimise your loss by betting low. But then, you might bet high thinking you're good and you can still be pipped at the post, so...
I don't know, I think just a pack of top trumps is a lot easier.
Yeah, this is very cool to look at, very quirky, but not the most exciting
No,
game.
it's not.
Yeah. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the description... We'll take care of the description.
We'll take care of that.
You comment in the comment section. Is this something you would play? I know, like, top trumps, those sort of statistic comparison games can be enjoyed by a lot of people. They're just not our cup of tea, so maybe this looks really good to you.
And I haven't been able to find any information on this online. So let us know if you actually played this. This came out in 87, by the way.
Before I was born. Yeah. Hit that subscribe button and check back soon. We have videos every single Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.